Hi everybody! Science is to be enjoyed. I know a family that enjoys science anywhere, everywhere. Father is a chemist. Yes, you heard me right. Father is a chemist and his daughter is studying in standard 10th. Also, her classmate is her neighbor.
Oh my god, never return back. Daddy, it's on you! While surfing the chemistry content of a lesson, we found it.
Oh yes, uncle, it's so amazing. Let me read it. A physicist, biologist and a chemist were going to the ocean for the first time. The physicist saw the ocean and was fascinated by the waves. He said he wanted to do some research on the fluid dynamics of the waves, and for that he walked into the ocean. Obviously he was drowned and never returned. Okay, the biologist...
Let me say the rest.
Okay.
The biologist said that he wanted to do some research on flora and fauna inside the ocean and walked inside the ocean, and he too never returned. And you know what? The chemist waited for a long time and afterwards wrote the observation. The physicist and the biologist are soluble in ocean water.
Okay, now let me tell you one. A chemistry teacher was shouting at her students for not learning the elements of periodic table. She said, "Why? When I was of your age, I remember each elements by the atomic weight and atomic number." But then one student popped up and he said that, "But madam, then there were very few elements then."
Well, that is the topic of the day, periodic classification of elements.
Hi everybody. As we all know from our previous knowledge that anything that occupies space and have mass is known as matter. Matter can be classified into solid, liquid and gases on the basis of physical properties. But on the basis of chemical properties, it can be classified into elements, compounds and mixture. Elements are the simplest form of matter which are composed of similar kind of atoms. Do you know till now how many elements are known to us? There are as many as 114 elements known to us till now. But it is impossible to remember the properties of all the elements and their compounds, and therefore efforts have been made to classify elements into fewer groups. The purpose of classification was to make the study of chemistry of elements and their compounds easier. As early as 1817, Dobereiner suggested a relationship between atomic mass and chemical properties of elements. According to him, elements with similar properties can be kept together in a group of three that he called triad. And the atomic mass of the middle element is average of atomic mass of other two elements. We can make it more clear by taking example of triad of alkali metals, that is lithium, sodium and potassium. According to Dobereiner, atomic mass of sodium is arithmetic mean of other two elements, that is lithium and potassium. Atomic mass of lithium is 7 and that of potassium is 39. The average of this two is coming out to be 23, which is atomic mass of sodium. In the same manner, alkaline earth metals can also be arranged in triad, that is calcium, strontium and barium. The atomic mass of strontium is arithmetic mean of atomic masses of calcium and barium. And halogen can also be grouped in the triad, that is chlorine, bromine and iodine. But the defect of Dobereiner's classification was he could classify only few elements into triad, and that's why this classification was rejected. Well, Dobereiner was first to attempt classification of elements on the basis of atomic mass. but he failed as he could not classify all the known elements of that time into triads. But this was just the beginning of journey.
Friends, I have a sad news for you. Little Willie was a chemist. Little Willie is no more. For what he thought that H2O was H2SO4. Well, the journey to find more elements was on and on. Another milestone was in the year 1864 when Newland created history.
नाच न जाने आंगन टेढ़ा तू क्या जाने क्या है नारी जिस संग लागे मोरे नैना उस पे सारी दुनिया वारी नाच न
Oh, my favorite film song, Padosan, is on the television screen right in front of me. Join with me, we shall talk later.
एक चतुर नार करके सिंगार एक चतुर नार बड़ी होशियार मेरे मन के द्वार ये घुसत जात अपने ही जाल में फंसत जात हम मरत जात अरे आय 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 चतुर नार बड़ी होशियार करके सिंगार अपने ही जाल मेरे मन के द्वार फंसत जात ये घुसत जात हम हंसत जात हम मरत जात.
In the Indian system of music, there are 7 musical notes. They are Sa, Re, Ga, Ma, Pa, Dha, Ni. While in the West, they use notations like Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti. The notes are separated by whole and half frequency intervals of tones and semitones. A musician uses all these notes for composing the music for his song. Naturally, there must be some repetition of all these notes. Every 8th note is similar to the first one, which is the first note of the next scale. Well, you must be thinking why I need to tell you all these. What is the relation between chemistry and music? Let us check it out.
Inspired by Dobediner, Newland also tried to classify elements in 1866 on the basis of atomic mass, and for this purpose he gave a law known as Newland's law of octave. According to him, when elements are arranged on the basis of increasing atomic mass, then every 8th element is just the repetition of first element, similar to musical notes. On the basis of this law of octave, Newland classified all the elements known at that time in the form of a table from lightest to heaviest, that is thorium. In his classification, elements with similar properties like lithium, sodium, potassium were kept together at the same place. In the same manner, oxygen and sulfur were nearer to each other, and fluorine, chlorine and bromine were also nearer to each other. But his work also faced some limitations, like his classification went very well with the lighter element, but he got failed for the heavier elements. Besides, at some places he kept 2 elements at the same slot, like cobalt and nickel were placed together and lanthanum and cerium were placed together. And the biggest thing, he considered that there are only 56 elements exist in the nature and no new element can be discovered, and that is absolutely wrong. Due to all these limitations, his classification was also rejected. It is clear from discussion of Newland's law of octave that he kept 2 things in mind while classifying the elements. First, to arrange them in increasing order of atomic mass, and second, to keep elements with similar properties together. But he also failed to classify all the elements of that time.
Well friends, now the relation between chemistry and music must be clear to you. Do you know who was the source of inspiration for the great Russian chemist Mendeleev, due to whom he became the most important contributor in classification of elements? It was his mother. Today we are going to talk about the historical development made by Mendeleev in the course of classification of elements.
The main credit for the classification of elements in the form of a table, that is periodic table, goes to Mendeleev. But before we talk about Mendeleev's periodic table and modern periodic table, we should know the meaning of the term periodic table. A periodic table is actually a chart of elements in which elements with similar properties are kept together in the vertical column known as group. This is known as periodic because elements with similar properties are repeated after regular interval, and this is known as table because elements are arranged in the tabular form. Mendeleev's periodic table consists elements in the horizontal rows known as period and vertical columns known as groups. Mendeleev classified all the 63 elements known at that time in periodic table on the basis of two aspects. First, to arrange them in the increasing order of atomic mass, and second, to keep the elements with similar properties together. Based on these two aspects, Mendeleev stated his famous periodic law, according to which properties of elements are periodic function of their atomic masses. This means when elements are arranged in increasing order of atomic mass, then elements with similar properties are repeated after regular interval. In Mendeleev's periodic table, there were 6 horizontal rows and 8 vertical columns. Elements with similar properties were kept in group, that is vertical column, and there is a regular gradation in their physical properties. Let us check out advantages of Mendeleev's periodic table. Mendeleev's periodic table proved to be a great milestone in the classification of elements, and it is superior in many aspects than other. For example, Mendeleev had a great foresight that he predicted the discovery of new elements, and for that he left gaps at many places. He named as well the undiscovered element at that time by putting the word eka prior to the preceding elements of the same group. Do you know what is eka? Eka means first. He characterized these elements as well, and yes, he was very correct because elements were discovered later and their properties were very similar as predicted by Mendeleev. For example, eka boron, eka aluminium and eka silicon were discovered later and named as scandium, gallium and germanium. Besides, Mendeleev's periodic table was constructed in such a nice manner that the whole group of noble gas was introduced into it without disturbing the existing order.
Well friends, Mendeleev's periodic table was really a milestone in the history of classification of elements. But still, the journey is not complete. Mendeleev's work also faced some shortcomings.
Though Mendeleev did a great job in classifying the elements, but it also faced many limitations. For example, first, there was no place for the isotopes in Mendeleev's periodic table. Do you know what are isotopes? Isotopes are the elements with same atomic number but different atomic masses. As Mendeleev considered atomic mass as the basis of classification, isotope should get different places. But that was not done by Mendeleev. For example, chlorine has 2 isotopes, chlorine 35 and chlorine 37. Both of these isotopes should get different position according to Mendeleev's periodic law, as both of these have different atomic masses, but that was not done. Besides, there was no certain place for hydrogen. Hydrogen resembles alkali metals, halogens and carbon in its properties. So it can be kept with alkali metals, carbon and halogens, but that was not there. Besides, at some places Mendeleev didn't follow the increasing order of atomic mass. For example, he kept cobalt prior to nickel, tellurium prior to iodine and copper prior to zinc. In all these 3 cases, later element has atomic mass lower than the former element. Similarly, at some places he kept elements with different properties together. For example, silver is capped with zinc and potassium. Silver is a noble metal that is least reactive, while potassium is highly reactive metal. These two elements with different properties were kept together. Well, we have talked about historical development of classification of elements. Now, let us have a total recap of whatever we have talked about today. Well, we came across the historical development of classification of elements. We talked about Dobereiner-Strad, which state elements having similar properties can be arranged in a group of three in which the atomic weight of the middle element is the mean of the atomic weight of other two elements. Newland's law of octave, which states that when the elements are arranged in order of increasing atomic mass, then every eighth element has properties similar to that of the first element, just similar to musical notes. But both these approaches have shortcomings and thus replaced by Mendeleev's periodic table. Mendeleev arranged elements in the increasing order of their atomic masses and chemical properties. He even predicted the existence of some yet to be discovered elements on the basis of gaps in his periodic table. But Mendeleev's periodic table also had a lot of anomalies and therefore replaced by modern periodic table.
In the next episode, we shall learn more about periodic classification of elements. Friends, it's time to say goodbye to you. But before departing from you, one more humor on the subject. Teacher question, what is the formula of water? Student replied, HIJKLMNO. Teacher angrily said, that is not what I taught you. Student said, but ma'am, you only said the formula of water is H2O. Well, goodbye. See you next time.